Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. I hope you're doing amazing at home and please jangan stress, okay? Welcome back to our science lesson. We're going to continue our lesson today about body defense, pertahanan badan. Before we move on, let's just do a little bit of a recap. Previously, we did learn about the meaning of defense mechanism, mekanisme pertahanan. It means the strategy carried out by the body in order to stop the pathogen from causing infection in your body. Okay, bila mana ada pathogen yang masuk ke dalam badan kamu, our body will try to destroy and stop the pathogen daripada menyebabkan kerosakan dalam sistem badan kamu. Okay, previously you did learn about the 3 defense line, 3 barisan pertahanan. The first defense line involves the outermost layer, which is our skin, mucous membrane that lining up your digestive tract and respiratory tract. Okay, sistem pencernaan dan sistem pernafasan. Others ni involve macam your earwax, your tears and vaginal secretion, if you still remember. Okay, if the first defense line did not manage to stop the pathogen, let's say there's a wound or luka dekat bahagian kulit kamu, and pathogen still manage to enter the system, your second defense line will come to the rescue. Okay, our white blood cell, as you can see in the animation video here, it shows the white blood cell ni, sel darah putih ni, dia tengah being transported in your blood vessel. Because whenever there is pathogen, the white blood cell will carry out a process called phagocytosis. What is phagocytosis? Phagocytosis is basically a process where the white blood cell engulf and digest the pathogen. Okay, basically dengan bahasa mudahnya, sel darah putih ni dia makan pathogen tu so that the pathogen won't be able to cause any harm in your body. Okay, and then we also have the third defense line. Barisan pertahanan yang ketiga sekali involve antibody and antigen. Antigen ni usually present on the surface of foreign substance. Macam pathogen, they usually have this antigen that can induce production of antibody. Antibody is very important in your body. Why? Because antibody has the ability to kill the pathogen or to stimulate other white blood cells to help destroy the pathogen. Okay? That's why we really need the antibody. It can stop the pathogen from destroying your system. And last but not least, you did learn about the immunity, which basically an effort to stimulate your body to produce an immune response. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn about the passive and active immunity. Our immunity can be classified into two, which is passive and active. Okay? Ada keimunan pasif, ada keimunan aktif. What's the difference between passive immunity and active immunity? Okay, passive immunity means where your body gain the antibody from the external. Okay, that's why they call it passive. They call it passive because your body basically does not have to work too hard to produce the antibody because you will be getting it from the external. Someone will actually give it to you. But active immunity means your body has to work hard and produce the antibody itself. You cannot depend on other things to produce the antibody. Okay, that's the difference. Passive mean the body gain the antibody from the external, but active mean the body work itself to produce the antibody itself. Okay, passive immunity usually it just for a short period of time, but active immunity can usually last longer than passive immunity. Alright, so both immunity, passive and active, can be obtained either naturally, secara semula jadi, or artificially, which is secara buatan. Okay, as you can see, this is basically the summary of the type of immunity. Immunity can be classified into passive and active. Both passive and active can either be obtained naturally, secara semula jadi, ataupun secara buatan, artificially. Okay, so let's look onto natural passive immunity. Okay, Okay, this one I've explained before. Passive immunity means the body gain the antibody from the external, means the body does not produce itself. Okay, that's why natural passive immunity. What's the example of natural passive immunity? Whenever a baby receives antibody from the breast milk or mother's blood through placenta. That's why it classified as passive immunity. Sebab apa? Passive immunity means you gain the antibody from the external, right? In this situation, the baby received the antibody from the mother, either through breast milk or through the whenever the antibody cross the placenta and enter the baby bloodstream. Okay, that's why we call it natural pula, because it's a natural thing. I mean, you does not produce breast milk or mother's blood in the lab, right? It's a natural thing, so that's why it's a natural passive immunity. Okay. So this type of immunity is temporary. Dia tidak dalam masa yang singkat saja, tidak bertahan lama, and only lasts first few months after the birth of the baby. Okay, it won't last long. It won't stays in the body forever. As you can see in the graph here, you can please refer your textbook for a clearer image. As you can see, for passive natural immunity, the concentration of body will increase because the baby keep receiving the antibody from the mother. But then after a certain point, especially after the birth of the baby, it will start decline. Dia akan start makin menurun, makin menurun, makin menurun. And lama-lama dia akan the antibody will be vanish. So that's why natural passive immunity, it won't last too long. Let's move on to the second one, artificial passive immunity. Passive immunity meaning you gain it from the external, you gain the antibody from the external. So artificial, tadi natural kan? This one artificial, it means you get the antibody through injection of antiserum. Obtained when antiserum is injected into patient's body. Antiserum ni is a type of a clear liquid in the blood that contains antibody. Why is it considered as artificial? Because in order for you to get this antiserum, you have to go through a series of procedure in the lab in order to isolate the antiserum. Okay, before being injected into the body. That's why yang ni considered sebagai buatan. Okay, kalau macam breast milk and mother's blood is considered natural semula jadi because you don't have to engineer ataupun produce it in the lab. But this kind of antiserum, bahasa mudahnya macam ubat lah, doktor bagi ubat. Okay, this antiserum you have to engineer it in the lab dalam makmal through a series of process in order to isolate this antiserum. Antiserum ni contain antibody. Okay, usually kalau kamu admitted in the ward, doktor akan inject this antiserum that contains the antibody to help you fight the pathogen infection. As you can see in the graph here, whenever the antiserum being injected in the body, the concentration of antibody dia akan surge, dia akan naik dengan sangat mendadak, but then it will decline abruptly as well. Pun sama, second injection dia akan surge, dia akan increase very abruptly. The concentration akan naik secara mendadak, but then it will be decline secara mendadak juga. Okay, so that's why it's called artificial passive immunity. Passive immunity, why? Because you get it from external. Doctor will inject the antiserum into your body. And why is it artificial? Because it has to be engineered in the lab through a series of procedure. Okay. So, let's look on to natural active immunity. Apa beza passive dengan active? Active mean the body produce its own antibodies when stimulated by antigen. Antigen ni ada dekat pathogen kan? So, this antigen has the ability to induce the production of antibody yang akan help stop the pathogen from causing infection. So, active means your body produce its own antibody. Kalau passive tadi, you get it from someone else. Okay, you get it from the external. Okay, so sama juga, active immunity terbahagi kepada natural and artificial. Natural active immunity, whenever a person recover from an infection. let's say macam demam campak. Demam campak means that you have been exposed to the virus and your body has the ability to produce its own antibody against the virus. And then after that, you won't be infected by the same virus anymore because you have the memory cell. Okay? Natural means it's happened naturally. You got it from someone else, or if you got the virus through infected person. Okay, you got it from someone else. But active immunity means your body will work hard to produce its own antibody to kill the virus. Okay, as you can see here, during the first infection, let's say kamu dapat demam campak for the first time, okay, the antibody dia akan makin menaik, and then dia akan drop a bit after a while. But then bila kamu exposed for the second time, the antibody production dia akan lagi tinggi. So that's why you won't be able to get the same infection twice. Kalau kamu dah pernah kena demam campak, you won't get the same things again after this. After you, the risk to get demam campak again dia akan sangat-sangat rendah. Okay, so that is natural active immunity. So let's look on to artificial active immunity. Active immunity means your body produce its own antibody, right? Artificial pula maksudnya apa? It being engineered in the lab, kan? So, artificial active immunity contohnya adalah vaksin. What is vaccine? Vaccine ni contain a dead or weakened pathogen. Virus yang telah mati ataupun yang telah dilemahkan. Okay, dia akan being injected into the body and causes the immune system to respond by producing antibody. Okay, you don't get the antibody from someone else. Your body still produce the antibodies themselves. But how? Why is it called? That's why it is active immunity. But why is it called artificial? Because you inject vaccine. Vaccine contain the dead or weakened pathogen. Compared to the natural, this one you get the infection, you get the virus naturally. It's not like someone inject the virus into the system. Okay, but for artificial active immunity, you give the vaccine because vaccine has been engineered to have this dead pathogen. Whenever dia masuk ke dalam sistem kamu, your body will respond to produce its own antibody. That's why it falls under active immunity. But why is it artificial? Because vaccine is a type of things that you produce in the lab. Okay, you don't get vaccine naturally. Alright, so this kind of immunity lasts very long after infection. Okay, that's why whenever you get the vaccine, you won't get the infection in the lifetime. So let's look on the graph. You see here, after the first vaccine injection, the antibody will increase a bit, but then you need the booster. Okay, second vaccine injection will help dramatically increase the concentration of antibody, so enrich the immunity level. So after this, kamu takkan dapat dalam infection tu, your body will be safe. Okay, as you can see in the video here, let's say whenever these two people is not vaccinated, but then they got sick, but then if there are more people who has been vaccinated, the virus won't be spread throughout the community thanks to vaccine, because these vaccinated people will stop other people from getting the infection. Okay, if not, everyone akan turn red. Sebab apa? Semua orang akan become sick and can infect other people juga. That's why vaccine is very important in your life. Alright. So that is all for today. Actually, we did learn about these four things. Immunity can be classified into passive and active. Oh, sorry, I should change this one into active. Let me just change it. This one is active. Yeah. So So immunity can be classified into passive and active. Each passive and active can be obtained either naturally or artificially. So you just have to remember natural, passive. Contohnya macam you get it from the mother. Baby got it from the mother through breast milk or mother's blood through placenta. Artificial passive means you get the anti-serum from the doctor. Natural active means you have been infected, naturally infected by the virus, macam demam campak. Artificial active immunity means you get the vaccine that contain the dead or weakened virus that will help stimulate the production of antibody. Okay, so ingat apa beza passive and active dan apa beza natural and artificial. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you. And if you have any question, please ask me, okay? Thank you.